I've been getting so many questions lately about spiritual contracts, so I wanted to record a new video today on this topic and answer a few questions that people have been asking me about spiritual contracts. Today I'm going to address what is a spiritual contract, how do you know if you have a spiritual contract, when do spiritual contracts end, and what is the purpose of a spiritual contract. So stay tuned. Hi, I'm Melissa and welcome to the Communicate with Angels YouTube channel. If you are new here, please smash that subscribe button. I share these videos every Wednesday and you're in the right place if you desire to learn to trust your inner guidance and develop your own spiritual abilities. All right, so let's answer these interesting questions about a spiritual contract. So first of all, what is a spiritual contract? Well, a spiritual contract can be a relationship which you can learn and grow from. I have another video on my YouTube channel about the 4 types of spiritual contracts. So a spiritual contract is not just a relationship with another person. You have a spiritual contract with yourself for this lifetime. You also have a contract with your team of guides, and you have contracts with kind of opportunities in your life, right? The job or the business that are a good fit for your purpose. But today, of course, we're more focusing on that other type of spiritual contract, which is a relationship with another person. It could be a romantic relationship, it could be a business relationship, a friendship, etc. All of those are types of contracts. So a spiritual contract that you have with another person is something that you can learn and grow from together. There is a connection based on that person's unique spiritual thrust or vibration. You can learn from their unique thrust or vibration, and they can learn from yours. You can learn from the strengths that they have and vice versa. And so it's mutually beneficial for you to have this relationship to learn and grow from. How do you know if you have a spiritual contract? Well, you will just feel drawn to that person. Maybe you think about them, maybe energetically you feel a pull toward them. You know there's some kind of connection, maybe you just have an inner knowing that they're meant to be in your life for some reason, and you will feel a pull toward it. The best way to know if you have a contract is actually to ask your angels. So if you're ever in doubt with any of this stuff, learn to communicate directly with your angels. And the best way to do that is with my online course. The Communicate with Your Angels online course. You can go to communicatewithangels.com/enroll. You get a private session included in that course where you'll learn to have a 2-way communication with your angels. So when you learn that, you can ask your angels questions like, is there a spiritual contract with this person? What is the contract about? What is the timing of the contract? Okay, so that's the best way to really be sure. But even if you don't have that communication yet, you can kind of sense through your intuition if you have a contract as well. When does a contract end? There's kind of 2 examples of this I have for you. And it's really important to know if a contract has ended, because it's probably then not actually beneficial for you to be in communication with that person at all if it has ended, right? So if a contract has ended, it will feel like the energy that was there before, that was like a building vibration, that was enriching you and you were getting something out of it, you were growing from it or feeling fulfilled or having fun from that relationship, it will feel like that energy is just totally absent. You will almost forget that that person exists. I know that sounds horrible, but they just don't enter your mind anymore. So I have a lot of amazing friends in my life, and I had a friend from where I lived previous to when I moved to Richmond, and we would get together fairly often, like once or twice a month. And there was a group of us that would get together regularly as friends. And since I moved, it's like this one person has kind of just disappeared from my life. There's no real motivation for me to contact her. She hasn't contacted me. It's like the energy is just totally absent. Whereas I have some other friends that maybe I don't see them very often because either they live far away or we just get busy. But when I think about that friend, I can still feel that there's a contract because there is a building vibration. I want to communicate with them, right? So my friend that I don't have a contract with anymore, it's not that I dislike her. She's great, but I just don't feel anything there anymore, if that makes sense. The other way that a contract can end is it can actually become destructive, more destructive to your energy to be around that person than constructive as it was previously. So this might happen often in a romantic relationship, even a business relationship, right? If you were working with someone in a really mutually beneficial way, and then you're just kind of going in different directions, you have different priorities than you did before, or their bad habits is bothering you a lot more than it was before, then that could be the end of that contract. In a romantic relationship, this will happen a lot where people hold on too long because we have so many beliefs that have come from our society and our upbringing about what you should do in a romantic relationship, right? You should stay married for your entire life till death do us part, or you should stay together because it's better for the kids, or whatever belief it might be. And really, none of that really factors in spiritually. What factors in spiritually is what feels good to you and what is best for your unique life purpose and your unique path, right? So we tend to hold on too long in a relationship, and that's when it can become toxic and destructive to you because the contract is actually ended. You kind of need to go your separate ways in order to keep learning and growing spiritually. It was a temporary contract. Maybe it was 10 years. Maybe it was a month. Like when I started dating after I got divorced, there were some contracts that were just a month or two. But I learned a lot from them. And then when it was time to let it go, I had to let it go. Because I do personally have a tendency to not want to let relationships go in that romantic sense. I'm scared to let it go, right? But I really had to kind of, get more confident, get a bit more assertive with that and just move on because it wasn't beneficial for me and my angels were telling me that. And because I did, I met somebody great that I've now been with for more than a year and a half. So sometimes it's really important to let go of a contract so that you can bring in the next opportunity. And this happens in contracts with opportunities as well. Maybe you really need to let go of a job in order to find the next one. Now, some people do the opposite. Sometimes people actually end a contract before the contract is spiritually done, right? And so it can go the other way too. I've seen it more common where people hold on too long, but I do know somebody who has this tendency to actually kind of kick people out of her life because they annoyed her or she got upset by them, and she'll just go, oh, you're out. And actually, from a spiritual big picture point of view, there was still something in that relationship that she could learn of instead of just moving away from it. So just always check in with yourself and the timing of your contracts. And the best way to get that bigger picture to know is from your angels, because there is no rhyme or reason to this. Every single contract is different. The timing is different for everybody. So having that recheck with your angels who know your unique path and timing is so valuable in this process. I don't think I would have been able to meet my current partner if I had not been able to check with my angels on contracts I was experiencing when I was in that phase of meeting someone new. So again, if you haven't learned how to communicate directly with your angels, I invite you to check out the Communicate with Angels course at communicatewithangels.com/enroll. And I have another video that you might love to watch after this one. And it's all about the difference between a spiritual contract and an affinity, right? You actually might have a relationship with somebody where you have an affinity, but there's not a contract. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It's something that happens, but it's really good to be aware of it so you can kind of understand what you're working with in different relationships that you have with people. So that video is called Going Deeper with Spiritual Contracts. I've linked it right beside me here. You could watch that one next to go deeper into what I've talked about today. I look forward to seeing you there.